guys, it is me, Glitch Map Killer. Today I have another fun video for you. I've done the top 10 albums of 2018, the top 10 albums of 2019. So, even though it's a bit premature, top 10 albums of 2020. Now, I mean, we still got a month and some change left in the year, but that doesn't really matter. Or at least to me it doesn't, because from what I can tell and of the information I have, there's nothing really left that I think will be monumental enough to change my mind. Or at least to, break through my top 10 list. Because I'm surprised at some of the albums that I trimmed away and, that didn't make the list, more than I'm surprised by the albums that did make the list. You guys know the drill. We have an honorable mention, then we go from 10 down to 1. It's a simple drill, use your big brains, you know how it goes. Starting with our honorable mention, we have the 20th anniversary edition, Hybrid Theory, from Linkin Park. Do I need to say anything at all? I would hope not, because the album's been around for 20 years. And the 20th anniversary edition of this album gives you so much bonus content. Multiple DVDs. I think 80 or something songs are on this album compilation, however you want to call it. Just the influence that Chester Bennington, Mike Shinoda have had since, being around since 2000, and all the people they've influenced, all the lives that they have helped change cannot be understated enough, as they are an unbelievably popular band and absolutely legendary worthy of their status. For the number 10 spot, we have Bring Me the Horizon and their album Post-Human Survival Horror. This is a gigantic surprise to me, because I'm not a Bring Me the Horizon fan. But this is actually pretty good. I'm very surprised at how much I liked the guitar work and the drums and just the vocals as well. It's a super collaborative effort, teaming up with Nova Twins and Amy Lee and Baby Metal and Youngblood. It's super cross-genre, cross-collaborative. Tons of unique sounds on here, as well as it being super popular. Getting, tons of coverage on SXM Octane with songs like Dear Diary and Parasite Eve and Obey and, Ludens. All making waves and getting tons and tons of positive coverage. I can't not, acknowledge the success of this album. Coming in for the number 9 spot, we have Lorna Shore and their album Immortal. This blackened deathcore offering, getting their starting back in 2015 or 16, they've just been making insanely good deathcore, insanely unique deathcore with songs like Immortal, the title track, Hollow Sentence, Misery System, Kings of Decession, and Obsession. I cannot get enough of this album. So many amazingly heavy, brutal, just beautiful songs. If this is your first introduction to the band, then you are in for a treat. If this is your first introduction to deathcore, then it is an absolute treat. I cannot say enough good things about this, album. So many unique and interesting sounds and just pure, raw talent. For our number 8 spot, we have Avatar and their album Hunter Gatherer. I've just been starting to get into Avatar, and they're an amazing band, and this album proves it. They've been getting some decent coverage with their song Colossus, as well as Silence in the Age of Apes. Super heavy stuff. I cannot understate that enough. Very beautiful melodic parts here. The choruses just seem to soar on this album. I don't know how they do it. Songs like Child and Justice and When All But Forces Fail all are just so the mixture of the brutality and the heaviness of the riffs and the drumming combined with the melody of the singer is just something that cannot be matched. It's wonderful. I love it. It's an amazing album that you do need to go check out. It is super worthy of being on this list, in my opinion. Coming in at number 7, we have, for 2020, Asking Alexandria and their album Like a House on Fire. I knew from the beginning that I was going to like this album. From the very first single that they dropped, I was very much hooked with this sound. Right away with the song The Violence, and then when they released They Don't Want What We Want, I was hooked, very strongly hooked, and with each consequential single, my love for the album grew even more. Songs like Down to Hell, Anti-Socialist, Take Some Time, It's Not Me, It's You. I just don't know what to say other than it's a great album. And it's, I think, a great direction, especially following up to their previous self-titled album. I love both of these albums, and I think it's just another example of Asking Alexandria doing what they do best. They're getting tons of good attention for it, and the album is doing really well, especially because of songs like They Don't Want What We Want and Anti-Socialist doing tremendously, and even featuring on Octane's Biggins. Super, super great stuff. All I can say is go and check it out. It's great. It's got tons of great sounds. Coming in at the number 6 spot, we have Lamb of God and their self-titled album, Lamb of God. In case you couldn't figure that one out. It took me a little while to fall in love with this album. I wasn't loving the singles at first, to my surprise, considering how big of a fan of the band I had been back in like 2018, 2017, 2016. You know, for whatever reason, maybe I burnt out on them, but I was kind of surprised when you know, singles started dropping that it wasn't as hard-hitting as I thought it would be, especially with songs like Checkmate. But then eventually, once they got to songs like New Colossal Hate, Years, Reality Bath, and On the Hook, I got it. I was like, okay, I see what's going on now. Super, super good stuff. Lamb of God being super political and getting right to the meat of the matter. Not mincing any words, not pulling any punches. Straightforward, aggressive groove metal. Just pounding, pounding, pounding away. I cannot stop listening to Reality Bath. It is such an amazing song. Such an amazing song. And Resurrection Man, that's another great one. The riffs, the drum work, the bass work, the vocals, Randy Blythe doing what he does best. You cannot find a more finer example of the band. Coming in at our halfway point, we have Draconian and their album Under a Godless Veil. It's no secret that I'm getting to be a pretty big fan of doom metal, and that's just it. I'm a big fan of doom metal. And Draconian has been really grabbing my goose. I can't really say much other than that, and this album is beautifully dark, so melodic. The guitar tones, the drum work is just so beautifully executed. It paints such dark and gritty and visceral pictures, especially with songs like The Sacrificial Flame and Lustrous Heart and Moon Over Sabbath. I don't really know what to say. You just gotta go and check the album out. It's an amazing album. It's dark. It's melodic. You really feel it. Coming in for our number 4 spot, we have 10 Years and their album Violent Allies. I love this album, and I loved it ever since I heard the first single, The Shift. It's an incredibly hard-hitting album. They're an alternative metal band doing what they do best. Super great songs, super great riffs. They're not the most popular band, but they don't need to be. They get done everything that they need to on this album with songs like The Shift, Waiting, Deja Vu, Cut the Cord, I Wish, and Say Goodbye. It's pretty textbook for 10 years, the band. I don't really know what else to say. They're amazing. It's a very good album. It's very emotional. Got lots of good drum work, lots of good guitar work. I cannot compliment the guitar work enough because I'm a guitar player. I like it. Standard riffs, nothing too flashy, but it's effective. Once again, we have, for our number 3 spot on this list, we have Katatonia and their album City Burials. I have stated before that I am a fan of doom metal. I love Katatonia so much. Ever since I first heard Hypnon, I have been in love with this band. Forsaker, and Deliberation, and In the White, and My Twin, July, Criminals, Old Heart Falls, Decima, Saren. Their last album Before the Fade, or whatever, no, it was The Fall of Hearts. What am I thinking? Yeah, The Fall of Hearts. That was a great album, and this is another great album, especially with, some of the more upbeat, harder hitting songs like Fighters and Behind the Blood, and then some of the more mellow, darker songs like Flicker, Rain, and Lacquer. They're just unbelievably beautiful songs. The singer is so good, so good. Please go and listen to Katatonia. Please go and listen to their new album, City Burials. It's such a good song. The title, Neon Epitaph, is another great song. It's just so beautiful. It's so melodic and it's so haunting. I don't know what else to say other than it's just good, and I love it, and you need to go and listen to it. You need it in your life. For the number 2 pick, we have Trivium, What the Dead Men Say. Matt Heafy had explained that they'd kind of been contrived with their writing with previous albums and had sort of been restricting themselves into the metalcore formula. But with their previous album, The Sin and the Sentence, and this album, they took off those chains and just wrote. And it shows. The speed and ferocity of the drum work by Alex Bent and the guitar work with Matt and Corey Bellew in tandem with Paul Gregoletto's bass work, it's just truly masterful. It's truly masterful on songs like What the Dead Men Say and The Defiant and Bending the Arc to Fear, the ones that we leave behind. Such big shredders. I cannot say enough about this album. Super catchy songs. Super strong, powerful riffs. Intensely insane drum work. The title track, What the Dead Men Say, is so beautiful. Matt Heafy's vocals cannot be given enough praise. Now, for the number 1 pick of the year of 2020, we have Shadow Work by Trapt. This album is so beautiful. It is so perfect. I cannot stop listening to it. I've gotten it surgically implanted into my brain. Too Little Too Late, Make It Out Alive. I want what one, Turn Me Around Again, Too Far Away, Hold and Be Held, Save Your Soul, Get You Back, Too Far Away. All are just an absolute fucking joke. Because that's not my number 1 pick for the year. My number 1 pick is Five Finger Death Punch and their album F8. Ivan Moody getting insanely personal on this album, talking about his journey through sobriety and what life has been like, confronting his demons and getting life together with the band. When they dropped Inside Out, I knew this was going to be an amazing album, adding symphonic elements, having their traditional acoustic songs that always do amazingly, like A Little Bit Off and Darkness Settles In is such a beautiful song, as well as Brighter Side of Grey, such a heartfelt and heartwarming song. And then there's more aggressive, just almost death metal style guitars from Zoltan on songs like Bottom Bottom of the Top and Mother May I and, you know, This Is War. Living the Dream is an insanely beautiful take on the, you know, insanity that we live in. Full Circle is so good. The riff work on all of these songs is perfect. Getting to hear Chris Cale's bass come through more on songs like Scar Tissue, Death Punch Therapy, and Making Monsters are beautiful end caps to the album, as well as To Be Alone. My favorite song off the album is super groovy and super punchy. I cannot say enough good things about it. This is 100% worthy of being the top 10 album of 2020, or the top 1 album of 2020. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Gojo Map Killer. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time.